Awesome. Okay, you guys, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being guests of Emily and Katherine. This means a lot to them. This is something they're embarking on and something that they're inviting you into. All of us are always so excited when we share this information with people because it just makes everything so much simpler than we tend to think. All disease seems like such a mystery. But this just kind of shines a light on it and just shows us what the root cause of it is. And I just find it so extremely empowering. So we are LifeVantage. We're the activation company. Just a little background on myself. I'm Andrea Abert. I'm the mom of 8 kids. And we are full-time RV. We're nomads. So we're in Florida right now, just enjoying the summer sun, winter sun. We all got too much color today. And that's my husband Andre on the right side. And we have that picture behind the Berlin Wall because he actually grew up behind the Berlin Wall, which is a fun story. And he came to the US probably in his 30s already and learned English in England. So that's a little bit of background from him. And yeah, we've been doing this business for 7 years, and it's just honestly such a joy, such a blessing. And we'll touch about the business side a little bit today. But I was telling the girls earlier, for whatever reason, people get started in with LifeVantage. Um, for whatever reason it is, maybe they want more time together with a spouse, maybe they want more income, maybe they want more purpose and they're mission driven. Um, Maybe when you hear about the products tonight, you'll be like many, many, many of our consultants where they say, we feel a moral obligation to share this with the world. But whatever the reason is, I promise you, you will get so much more. Like, I just feel so completely blessed with this opportunity and especially with the friends that come our way, whether it's the people we help with the products or the people that join us in the business. It's honestly such a blessing. And I think all the time I tell my husband, like, I wouldn't have met these people if it hadn't been through this business. And so, this is like meeting you tonight, Sarah, and the others when we get a chance to. It's honestly, it's just such a blessing, the people that come into our life. So just kind of a little background about what's going on out there in the world. If we look at all the stats, in the last 20 years, all disease is on the rise. And I know that sounds depressing. You don't want to go to bed to that news, but it's true. Despite, all our healthcare options, we have pharmacies at every intersection, hospitals everywhere, emergency centers everywhere, drugs everywhere, right? Vaccinations out the wazoo. None of that's working. And when you go to the natural side, actually natural products, you guys, they're actually set to take over big pharma this year, which is great, except that we're still doing so terribly. We're still really, really, really sick. So it's not powerful enough, and disease just keeps rising and rising and rising. And so some of the statistics out there are that 1 in 8 couples experience infertility, 1 in 2 women have cancer, 1 in 3 men get cancer. Heart disease is the leading cause of death. It's 50% of um, United States citizens have they're either diabetic or pre-diabetic, and 54% of our children have chronic or autoimmune diseases. And those are our children. So I always think those stats are just really, really sad. Um, autism, it used to be 1 in every 10,000 children in the 1950s, and now it's 1 in 20 boys is autistic. 1 in 20 boys. It's like mind-boggling to me. And in California, that dwindles down to 1 in 12 boys has autism. And so, what we really want to show you and educate you is that it's our hijacked environment. That's what's really causing all of this. Like, even if we try to do as well as we possibly can, and I know that a lot of you girls are crunchy and you're doing a lot of natural things. I think there's a lot of you, like when Emily was describing you, you have pigs and goats and chickens and all this stuff. And I love that. But even us, when we're trying to do things as natural as possible, we still live on planet Earth. We still live in a place where actually, I heard a statistic where babies today, when they're born, so before they even enter this planet, they have 280 trace carcinogens, known carcinogens in their umbilical cord already. And that's just passed through the mother to the baby in utero. And so that's the environment we're coming into. Before we even get into this hijacked environment, also, we're born with genetic mutations. So over half the population has genetic mutations. So I don't know if you guys have heard of like MTHFR genetic mutations. There's a lot of different ones. But what it really means is your body is even more susceptible to this environment because it can't methylate the poisons in the environment. So they usually do worse. Those children usually succumb to autism or a disease much, much faster. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have over 80,000 toxic chemicals introduced into our planet. We have the EMFs, the fuel emissions, the sad American diet, processed foods. For us, they're normal because they're sold on the shelves in the store and we tend to get used to them, but they're very, very foreign to our body and a lot of those preservatives as well. And then you have like people in hazmat suits spraying the crops with things that bugs won't eat or things that will kill the bugs so that the humans can eat it. And it's not doing too well for us either. And then we have all kinds of pharmaceuticals, vaccines, vaccine sheddings. I know that like birth control, they're having trouble even filtering that from the water. And even things like working out can cause free radical damage in our body, all of these things together. So in this environment, we're actually building up 13 sextillion free radicals every single day. And that is a 13 with 23 zeros behind it. And that free radical damage that's we're bombarded with, that it leads to something called oxidative stress in our body. And that's kind of the buzzword right now. This is the real like big deal in tonight's presentation because oxidative stress is the root cause of disease. And it all stems back to that toxic environment that we live in. And so before it becomes a disease, it starts to look like brain fog. It starts to maybe look like infertility, migraines, insomnia, maybe just like moodiness. Maybe the hormones are off. Maybe you're like extra anxious. People with PTSD, all of that is a bunch of oxidative stress in their body. And one of the ways we like to show, what oxidative stress looks like is just this apple, the moment it's cut, it begin and it's exposed to the atmosphere, it begins to that browning and that sort of decaying process, and that's because it's oxidizing. It's got oxidative stress, and before you know it, it just looks like this brown rotty apple. And I know your baby's too little, Sarah, but I'm always joking that we have found many of these apples in our home with our kids over the years, just behind a couch or something. But they look like that, and if that's a visual of like what your body looks like, that's just disease. That's the disease state in your body. And so this is fascinating too, because I actually didn't hear of this. So don't feel bad if you don't know what PubMed.gov is. It's a government website. It's the National Library of Medicine. And this is like the doctor's Google. This is where they go to research the creme de la creme in peer-reviewed studies. And it used to be that, there was only about 10,000 studies linking oxidative stress to disease. That you can go into this research device and type in a disease and oxidative stress, and you would find like maybe 5,000 studies linking them together. When I started this 7 years ago, it was 180,000 studies linking oxidative stress to disease. And today there's almost 400,000 studies. So all the research is compiling and compiling and compiling. And we're beginning to understand that all disease at the cellular level is the same thing. It's breaking down of our cells, it's oxidizing our cells with oxidative stress. And then when we have too much oxidative stress, it just starts to seep into our body. And wherever it pours over, there's the disease. And because each one of us are so different and unique, our body's going to cry in a different way. So a person that has too much oxidative stress in the brain, it's going to look like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. If it's in the joints, it'll look like arthritis. If it's in the heart, it will look like heart disease. Or if it's in the eyes, it look like macular degeneration or losing your vision. If it's in the blood vessels, it could be like clogging in your arteries, right? But doesn't it make it so much simpler to just say, oh my gosh, I just have to reduce my oxidative stress? I mean, instead of freaking out and, worrying and, going to some specialist, to just kind of calm yourself down and say, let's reduce the root cause so that these things start to go away. And that's what I love. And that's really where our story comes in with the product that we're going to talk to you guys tonight about. And this product, it developed about 2003, and still to this day, there is nothing that comes close to doing what this product can do. Not even close. And it was honestly so far ahead of its time back then. It was developed by a doctor named Dr. Joe McCord. And Dr. Joe McCord had discovered that the body makes its own antioxidants. So he discovered an antioxidant called superoxide dismutase, SOD, and they measure it in McCord units after the doctor. Like he's that famous. He won an Elliott Crescent Medal for his discoveries in science, and he spent his whole life just trying to turn on this antioxidant inside of the body. And so in his older age, probably in his 70s, he developed this product, Protandim NRF2. And he actually created what is called an NRF2 activator. Now, they didn't know at the time it was an NRF2 activator. He was just trying to turn on the antioxidants in the body. But what he ended up discovering was the most powerful and most potent NRF2 activator on the market. And so what is going on here is we have a whole system in our body, and that system is there to prevent damage in our body. It evokes healing, and it starts this cellular detox process in our body. And that whole system is managed by a master gene, like a master switch. And that master switch is called the NRF2 pathway. And so this little bottle, this herbal pill, switches on our master switch, our master system inside of our body. It's incredible. And that's why nothing has come close to it, because we're not talking about a supplement. We're talking about turning on our miracle body, right? And actually, a lot of those things we talked about earlier, the hijacked environment, that will either turn down or turn off this pathway. And that's why people are doing so poorly today, and why the free radicals are building up, is because their master switch is not working. And so he developed this product unknowingly. It was a Nerve2 activator. They discovered that just a little bit later. And the NRF2 was still a new discovery at the time. But let me just tell you guys what it does, because that's the really exciting part. He had done a study that when you take this product, that in the first 30 days of taking it, it reduces the oxidative stress by an average of 40% in the first 30 days. That's all the oxidative stress, an average of 40% in everyone, including horses, your pigs, your any mammals that is out there, your dog. It's going to reduce their oxidative stress levels by 40% in the first 30 days, and then continue to reduce them up to 70% over the next 90 days. To this day, you guys, that's still unheard of. And what that means is, with that pathway working the way it was designed to, the way God designed it to, you're able to neutralize those free radicals and stay healthy. When you're not able to neutralize those free radicals and they start building up and building up and building up, and those detox pathways are not working the way they're supposed to, you start to build up free radicals, oxidative stress, and then eventually disease, right? That's where that red marker is going there on the screen. And so, actually, I couldn't tell you the most exciting part. So, this reporter, John Quinones, saw that report that they had done. It was actually a PubMed study, and they went in there to do an investigative report. And so, if you guys know anything about an investigative report, it's something like you don't want these guys at your door. You want to send them away, because even if you're good, they're there to kind of expose you and make you look bad. A friend of mine, she was doing this presentation, and she actually had a real life experience of someone coming into what was like a little cult that she was raised in to do an investigative report. And they all thought it was really great. They were like, oh, we're going to go convert the world. And it ended up, destroy, like, really, really, really bad press. Well, that's kind of what they went in there to do. And Dr. Joe McCord was like, come on in. And he took John Quinones's blood. Um, they checked his oxidative stress levels with a test called T-bars. And you guys, in just 2 weeks, that's all they gave him, his oxidative stress levels were reduced by 45% in 2 weeks. And so it ended up making national headlines in the best way possible. And all these places, Johns Hopkins, the American Heart Association, National Institute of Health, Harvard, incredible and prestigious institutions and universities saw that study and understood the significance, the scientific breakthrough that it was because they were studying oxidative stress and heart disease, or oxidative stress and aging, or oxidative stress and multiple sclerosis, or cancer, or Alzheimer's. And what happened is they took this little herbal pill from the company. They have nothing to do with our company at all, nothing to benefit. They were just honestly fascinated, and they spent millions and millions of dollars to conduct these studies. And they published their findings on PubMed.gov, and all of them are really phenomenal. They're right there. And the reason that's so significant, for people that aren't familiar with this level of research, this just doesn't happen for a natural patented product. They're not peer reviewed. If they are, it's very rare, and they may just have one. Ours has 28 independent peer-reviewed studies published on PubMed.gov by these institutions and universities, which is really profound. And actually, someone just told me, and we can send you a video if you're interested in learning more about these, but really they're there to show you the caliber of research and science that went behind this product that we're telling you about. One of them is really interesting because there was a guy and he was told he had 3 to 5 years to live. He had ALS. So that's Lou Gehrig's disease, when their body starts to, lose its functions over time. And what happened is he started to take Protandim NRF2, and then his disease stopped progressing. And then they did a study to say that, wow, it actually stopped the progression of his disease. Well, now they're doing a study, and it's 20 years later, you guys, because this man does not have ALS anymore. He does not have this disease. He was in a wheelchair 20 years ago, told he had 3 to 5 years to live, and now he's not in a wheelchair and he's doing fantastic. And that's the newest study on Protandim NRF2. It's going to be on this gentleman, and Duke University is doing it. So it is incredible. It's potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative medical breakthrough in the history of medicine. So that's a really big deal. But what is it? It's just herbs. I know a lot of you garden, you do a lot of things natural. So this is a little bit of a mind twist for you, because this is just 5 Ayurvedic herbs. But what happens is it's a synergy of the 5. They're actually very micro dosages and just the bioactive ingredient of the herb. So, for example, it's curcumin from turmeric, it's silmonian from bacopa, and each one has a little tiny extract inside of it, and that's what they're taking out, and they're putting it in the right dosages. And the synergy right there is what's activating that NRF2 pathway. So we always say, like, okay, this is not a miracle pill. It's just turning on that master switch. It's turning on the miracle body, right? To do what God designed it to do. And yes, it's powerful, but not because it's forced. It's a forced process or a drug. It's powerful because the body is powerful. This is the body that creates life in, under 10 months, and it delivers a baby, and then has this incredible placenta that has stem cells that could cure cancer, and then we make breast milk, right? That's the miracle body, and that's what we're tapping into. And so what again it does is it reduces the oxidative stress by 40% in everyone on average in the first 30 days, and continues to do that over time. And it increases glutathione, a super master antioxidant. You'll see people like supplementing glutathione. They'll do precursors to glutathione. They'll do IV drips that are super expensive to get more glutathione in the body, but the body makes it. And so the most powerful way to get glutathione is to have it so that the body is making it again. And that's what this product is doing. And then each one of those herbs, in one of the studies, shows that they were each 18 times more effective in that synergy. So it is an incredible product. Dr. Joe McCord actually talks about this as, not only being that master switch, but it's also recalibrating our body to a homeostasis. Again, this isn't like someone doing this to us. It's just our body knows how to do it. Once that master gene is switched on, it can just, recalibrate everything so that anti-fibrotic genes are upregulated, so we can get rid of scar tissue. We can downregulate any kind of cancer genes. And this is just the miracle body. So this is really, really, really profound. And what we're doing here is, even though it looks like a supplement, we're actually taking something so that our body makes it, right? It's working in what we call an activator. And so in this case, we are taking our NRF2 activator to make our own antioxidants. But, in this scene, I think this is a really great visual. And Sarah, let us know if you have any questions, because I feel like the information kind of comes out like this fire hose sometimes because we just blurt it all out. But an example here of how powerful the antioxidants are, like the glutathione that our body makes, it's actually 1 million times more powerful than any kind of supplement that we're taking, whether it's vitamin C or we're juicing or we're having goji berries or blueberries or vitamin C tablets, right? All of those things that we're taking from the outside and putting them on the inside, they fight that free radical damage 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. And when you turn on your body's antioxidants, it fights off that free radical damage 1 million to 1 every second of the day, 60 seconds a minute, 60 minutes an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, constantly. That's how powerful the body is. And so you can see that if our body has a disease or it's just not feeling well, our body is like that house on fire. And when we are able to activate the body's NRF2 pathway, it's like bringing in the whole fire team. And they have this really powerful hose and they're communicating to one another and they're going right to the source of the fire and they're able to put it out. And so here we just have kind of a visual of antioxidants you can take. Maybe even throw some vitamin C in there, even IV glutathione drips, and it's still not going to blush. It's not going to be anywhere in comparison to the power of activating your body's NRF2 pathway. I think last I heard it was like 365 oranges to neutralize the amount of free radicals that one NRF2 pill will take. And in that case, you would be like over supplementing the vitamin C. You probably have very, very acidic, body, and you'd have diarrhea. It would just be terrible. And so that again, that is the power of just turning on the body's NRF2 pathway. And honestly, if we stop right there, we would be great. We would be in great hands because that still is the single most important thing that any of us can do for our health. So if you guys are like us, I'm sure you guys have this in your communities because it seems like we have way too many in our communities that I know here in Virginia, and then we have some actually friends near Coeur d'Alene. And it just seems like so many moms have gotten cancer, or so many people have gotten these mystery illnesses and just have been really, bogged down. And this is literally the single most important thing that we can do to prevent disease and also to help our body get healthy again once we have something is that activating that pathway. But what else can we do? We continue to activate different areas in our body. So again, not supplementing, but going into those incredible systems inside of our body and making sure that the systems are working the way they were designed to work so that our body can do its miracle thing. And so that we talked about the NRF2 activator, that's this one right here. And then the second one that supports the mitochondria. And so mitochondria is the cell energy. Mitochondria is, if we didn't have mitochondria, we would be dead. It's that vital to our existence. So if we think about activating the mitochondria in our body, think of it like a house renovation. Like you're renovating your kitchen, you're renovating your bathroom. This is your body renovator. It's building your body a new heart, a new kidney, and it's restoring and renewing and rejuvenating your body. Kind of fun fact, the babies get all their mitochondria from the mom. So I'm always like, if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, like take this activator because it's so good for building up new babies. And then NAD is really important for cell autophagy. That's like cleansing your house and purging anything that no longer serves your body. And so this is just going in your body and getting rid of, dead cells, cancer cells, and that sort of thing. And all of these can actually be taken together. I do love this set, especially for people like 40s and above, maybe even late 30s. I love it. It makes sure like I'm 44, my husband's 56, and I'm always like, it makes our bodies feel like we're in our 20s. It just gives us vitality, energy. It's 10 o'clock at night here, and I'm doing just great. And I really credit like these activators. They're really incredible. And then we activate collagen. So it's interesting too because when I and maybe you want to share what your thoughts are on collagen, but I thought it was just a vanity product. I thought it was just, hair, skin, and nails, and it was, to look beautiful and to bring back some youth. But it's so much more than that. It's actually, if I read down here, it says all of the 20,000 or so different proteins in the human body, there is one that dominates more than any other. Without it, our cells would simply collapse in on themselves. Our skeleton and blood vessels would disintegrate, and we would be little more than blobs of shapeless tissue. And they're talking about collagen, how important it is to our body. And so when I understood that collagen was in our eyeballs, it was in our uterus, it's in our heart, it's for our, cardiovascular muscle. It's for so many things, our joints, our ligaments. It really puts us together. It holds up our arteries. I started to be like, oh my gosh, this is really, really, really important. And so this is a foundational piece for health. It's a big piece of the puzzle that's missing for a lot of people. And so while it has those incredible anti-aging effects, like Betty on the top picture, what I really would love for you to kind of understand here is that as cool as her results are on the outside, her results on the inside are even more amazing. Like it's just incredible what we've seen this collagen do on the inside. And so it is a supplement in that it's a marine-based collagen, and it's sourcing 10 different collagen peptides from marine sources. But it also has antioxidants. So I don't know if you guys know, but when you're taking a collagen, it has to be paired with the antioxidant so that so that your body can receive it. I didn't know that a lot of things have a synergy about them. Collagen has that with antioxidants. And so we have paired it with antioxidants, and those antioxidants also prevent us from losing collagen, helps us maintain it. But we also have an activating piece in here. We have a red quinoa extract, and there we're actually making collagen again. So our body is turning on its ability to make the collagen. And we actually see it make more antioxidants as well. So it makes those powerful antioxidants that the Nerve 2 makes. It also increases those. So it's extremely healing. I've seen incredible stories with people with Parkinson's, just people with back issues, gaining space between their spine, and just feeling really great. But something really cool is we talked about the synergy with the three blue bottles. This collagen, when it's paired with that NRF2 activator, they have a synergy and there's a study on the website, but they have a synergy that takes the body out of fight or flight. So if the body's in that like autoimmune state and it's attacking itself, this actually has a synergy that communicates to our cells that it's okay. And it takes the body, it lets it relax, and it takes it out of that zone where it's attacking itself. And then this is just a really cool picture of our friend Eloise. And Eloise is out here in Virginia, or that's where I'm from. I'm in Florida now. But Eloise is actually the same weight in both of these pictures. It's just her body has lost so much inflammation, and she's wearing the same dress. And she's 10 years older in the picture on the right. So she is just living, breathing example of what it is to be living an activated life. And she was fit and doing things before, but it's just it makes a difference when your body is activated. Then, we're talking about like foundation and building blocks for health. So I'm just kind of giving you guys an overview of some of the activators we have. And I think there's only two more that I'm going to talk about, but this is a gut health activator. And I know that if you guys are crunchy and you're doing all the natural things, how important gut health is to our body. It's like the second brain. It's so fundamental for our health and well-being. This is probably the most comprehensive gut health product that I've seen. It combines 84 powerful ingredients. They're phytonutrients, so you get your 40 servings of fruits and vegetables, but it has a really rare and really beautiful blend of probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics, and botanical blends for our body. And what it's doing that we really love here at LifeVantage is it's actually getting our body, in addition to all those nutrients, it's giving our body the ability to make its own gut peptides. It makes 14 different gut peptides, and those are each responsible for regulating, repairing, and restoring our entire organ. Like it's going to work just rebuilding that whole gut health area. So this is a really key piece. And so again, like you can pair this with the NRF2. If you're starting to see, a correlation here, we love to pair everything with our NRF2. So I would call this the NRF2 and company. Like we want everybody on this little yellow pill, and then if you can add something else, then I would say get that in your body. The last one we're talking about, because that little guy is like, he's probably like just hanging in there. He's doing great. Is Axio. This is a really great drink. I don't know if do you guys have it there tonight?
Yeah. Mhm.
Do you? It's so good. It's like you feel your brain like really, really awake. And we have a couple brain mapping videos that doctors have done with our Axio and NRF2 and children's brains with ADHD, autism, and it is really profound what they're seeing, the difference that they're seeing. One of them, Dr. Fannin, does brain mapping. He works with kids who are neurodivergent. What he saw on these scan results just from this child being activated, he was mind blown. And these are doctors who don't, they're not impressed with a lot of things that come in through their door, but this one is just, I mean, the data doesn't lie. You see all that hyperactivity in the brain. And then in the other side, this is, I think, 2 weeks later, you just see like a calm, cool, collected brain that's concentrated. The neural pathways are connecting. The other one is like all these thoughts are shooting off. When your mind is going a million miles a minute, that's how this kid was constantly, like pistons firing. And then his brain is just concentrated, focused, no inflammation, and just able to work and operate really, really well. So it's like a clean energy drink, except that it gives you focus, stamina, concentration, and there's no jitters or crash, and it's really giving you that awareness because it's brain food and it's passing that blood-brain barrier and it's able to get right up to your brain and help. And so this is a little different than our other products because this is the one you probably feel instantly. Like you'll take it and you'll feel like I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm focused, right? And the other products, they are all working the moment you take them, but it's 30 days before your oxidative stress is reduced by 40%. And are you going to feel when your oxidative stress is reduced by 40%? Many people do. Some people don't because, they're maybe not as aware of their body, or maybe they forget the aches and pains they had, or maybe they're just, maybe they just didn't notice yet. So this drink you definitely notice. And you can even see a difference in a child's handwriting. So we have a lot of these stories. We have children going from nonverbal to verbal. I have a girl, I mean, I can just go on and on, honestly, with so many stories, but I have another friend and we have a lot of doubting Thomases. We have a lot of those. And she was like, okay, let me just try it for my daughter over summer. What do we have to lose? We tried everything. Like they tried reading glasses, they tried special teachers, they tried like different she just tried everything. Her daughter was 12 years old and not reading. And so that summer she picked up reading on her own with Axio and Nerf too. She had headaches that would come on when she started reading, and I think that would put her off from reading too. And those headaches completely dissipated. I don't know anyone, honestly, guys, is just a side story who took NRF2 and kept up with their headaches. Like anyone who's dealing with migraines or headaches, that is like one of the first things that gets wiped out when the NRF2 pathway is activated because the body is like figuring all that stuff out. And so her daughter went from like I think it was 50s, 60s, and 70s in her scores the spring before to in the fall she was doing 70s, 80s, and 90s. And her mom was blown away because they didn't change any of the curriculum. It was literally her brain was activated, it was given the food, and she was able to think her way through instead of just being completely, bogged down by everything. So this is an incredible product. Just to kind of recap what we talked about, we have um, our concept is we take it to make it. So everything we're doing, it's nutraceuticals, it's nutrients that affect our genes in a positive way. And we're using them in a synergy to turn on our miracle body so that our body is, turning, making its own antioxidants, making its gut peptides, making its own collagen, and, helping the brain's neural pathways connect. And so if you guys go look at the store and you want to look around, you'll see some other things. We have, for example, omegas. We have AM and PM pills to help with the circadian rhythm. We have a skincare system. All of these actually developed organically. The skincare developed because one of the studies was on skin cancer and NRF2, so they made an NRF2 skincare. They even have like a hair serum because people were growing their hair back when they started activating with NRF2. They're just fun side effects of your body actually healing. And so you will see a lot of things, but always like go back to the girls if you're wondering where to get started. They'll guide you. That's why we're called consultants, because we're able to help people decide where to start. And honestly, a lot of times starting has a lot to do with our budget, and what's going on in our body. And if we are going to start with something, I think we always tell people it's going to be NRF2. If you guys can do one thing preventatively for your body, it would be to get, your spouse, your husband, as many people as you can on that little pill to turn on that pathway so that it's working again properly so that we can live in this hijacked environment and still live with vitality, still thrive because our miracle body is able to keep up with all of that. And I know we told you in the beginning that we would talk a little bit about the business, and this is one of my favorite sides to this. And I know everyone's in a different situation. Um, wherever you come in, wherever you fit in is where you fit in. Everyone comes in for a different reason. Some people are praying for, a financial opportunity. Some people are older and their retirement isn't enough, or they didn't have enough for retirement, and so they love this. Some people just want to be part of a community and mission-minded people. I'm sure you can see that with the girls there, with Katherine and Emilie, but just everyone on our team, and Katherine and Emilie can attest to this, is just they're just the most beautiful people you can surround yourself with. They're on a mission to help people, to make people well. And they just, life is better because they're in it, honestly. And so a lot of people just like being part of that positive community. We travel. Some people love it because of the travel, but whatever you come in and personal growth. This is something that honestly, the moment you step on this journey, you begin the journey of personal growth. And a lot of people will tell you, in fact, I would say 99.999%, if not 100%, will tell you that the biggest blessing to this whole thing is the personal growth, like the person you become in the process. Um, is a really incredible thing because it's not you will change, you will grow into, like, I would say, the best version of yourself. And so what this did for my family is we were looking for a way for my husband to not work in the kitchen. The way we had it, it was like my husband was going to work until he died. He worked as an executive chef. He had a great job. But every time he would get a bonus, he had more responsibility, a pay raise, more responsibility. He was, working holidays, weekends, just very antisocial hours. It was really difficult for him to get time off to even find someone to replace him. And we just knew that if we didn't figure something out, he would be working probably until he died. Like we would, or we would both be working part-time. We didn't have any debt. We were really mindful of that, but we lived way below our means to be able to pay off our house. So that's how we were living. But we weren't really living like an adventurous life that we wanted to live. And I think the thing, honestly, that pained me the most was just never seeing my husband. And so that's why we did this business. And 3 years after starting this business, and I had no experience um, in network marketing whatsoever. And just like all of you guys, I was not like, oh, I love sales, I'm a salesperson. That wasn't me. And honestly, that's nobody. Well, actually, there's a few people who are actually like, I love sales, and I actually love meeting those people because most of us don't start out that way. We're actually like, I can't do this. But yes, you can. If you are a person with a heart, a passion, conviction, and you genuinely want the best for people, you can absolutely do this job. That's the beautiful part of it. But after 3 years, he was able to quit his job. And we've been traveling in an RV for the last 4 years. Now we're looking for land, but we really spent 4 years just being with our family, having the most incredible experiences, traveling literally all over the United States, ducking down to California for the in the desert for the winter, or deep down south in Florida or South Padre Island, Texas. And then in the north, or sorry, in the winter, sorry, summertime, I'm so confused with my seasons. We would travel up north. So we were at the Pacific Northwest and then New England. And honestly, just it's been incredible. And that's time we can never get back. And I'm so grateful to this company. But we've gotten so much more than I thought we were coming to. I have friends all over the country. I have the most beautiful people in my life because of this business, both on the corporate side and on, in our team side, and also cross lines, people who aren't even on our team. Everyone is just we have such a culture here that everyone just wants to help each other and get this out to as many people as possible. And so just a little background on our company. So we didn't start out in network marketing. We started out as a natural medical breakthrough, and all of a sudden, it was making headlines and there were PubMed studies on it. But really, it was so far ahead of its time that people didn't understand it. And still to this day, many of the doctors we have in our company who are fascinated with the science behind this, they found out about this because of a mom, or we have incredible doctors who do brain mapping who, it was a mother of one of their patients that brought this product to them because it was helping their son. And then they pay attention, not because of the ingredients, because they usually don't understand the ingredients. It's usually after that person has a breakthrough that they're like, what is that again? And then they understand, oh, it's an activator, it's not a supplement. And so the company actually went into direct sales, into network marketing after about 4 or 5 years. And that was because that product was sitting alone on the shelf, and the only one, it needed a voice, it needed an army of people telling other people about it. So it naturally evolved into that, and I'm so glad it did. The company is traded on the NASDAQ, it's debt free. All the products are patented, so they do what they say they're going to do, and they're protected. And they have 28 PubMed studies to back them up, which is honestly, I don't think we'll ever see that again, like that level of science. And then as far as the income, you guys, it's amazing too, because my husband and I, we were so desperate to create a better life for our family, something different than we were doing, that we actually almost opened a restaurant. And we were came really close to investing almost $200,000, also looking to refinance our house and get investors involved in the restaurant. And I'm so glad that we didn't. We suddenly decided, like, no, this isn't what we're going to do. And we looked elsewhere, but we were going to open a restaurant to to be able to create a better life. But in this business model, you don't need the assets. You don't need an overhead. I have a girlfriend who opened a food franchise, and she said they had to make $30,000 every month just so that they could start to pay themselves. And she's still paying the debt on that restaurant that ended up folding and going bankrupt still to this day. And you don't have anything like that in this business. There really is. It's almost, I want to say it is a completely risk-free business. The only thing you're paying for is products that are going to help your body thrive, especially, that NRF2 activator. It's flexible. You can work from anywhere. And for those of you guys who, if you're not interested in this, and that's totally okay, it's still a really great idea to help with with the tax benefits. So we have a tax code expert, and she says, I can save the average American family $4,000 to $8,000 a year on their taxes just by having a home-based business. Because if you guys don't know, the W-2 is actually designed to steal your wealth, and the 1099 is designed to create wealth. And so once you have a 1099 coming from a company that you're partnered with as an independent consultant, you are in actually the wealth building tax bracket that Jeff Bezos is in, and all those people who don't pay taxes, because you have all these incredible tax write-offs. So that's one way. And when you start something like this, just giving you guys the full picture, it isn't a job, so no one's going to tell you like you have to show up. Where are you? There's a team call. It's literally your business from the moment you start. And so what we can offer you is a help. Where if you want to run, we can run with you. If you want to walk, we can walk with you. If you don't want to do anything, we'll just be like, okay, don't do anything. No one's going to make you do anything. But if you are excited to learn how to make an income from home, and maybe in the beginning it's just something small, but you're thinking, I think I can learn to do a little bit more and a little bit more. Or maybe it's just to pay off my products in the beginning, and then maybe it grows into something bigger. It can start like that, but we have everything you guys need to support you. And mostly it's the team. It's the team support that you have that's going to get you really far in life because we do this business together. We'll talk about how we get paid. There's two main areas on how you get paid when you are a consultant. And one of them is just from your direct sales. And we call this our affiliate side. So a lot of people are familiar with affiliate sales. You get 10%, just from recommending a product. With our affiliate sales, you're getting anywhere from 10% to 30%, depending on how many sales you do a month. And that affiliate commission comes in every single month. So a lot of affiliate programs out there, you get 10% for recommending a shoe that you really liked, and someone buys it, and if they buy it again, you don't get the 10%, right? It was just that one and done deal. This one is recurring over and over and over again. And so when you're doing between 500 and 1,000 in sales, you're getting an additional 5%. So you're getting 10% plus an additional 5, which means you're getting 15%. And that means you're making between $75 and $150 a month. And then when you get up higher and you hit 4,000 in sales, you max out that affiliate side of the compensation plan because you're getting 20% in addition to that 10%. So you're making 30%. And what that looks like is $1,200 a month. And I know that that makes a huge difference for many, many, many people. And it just becomes very, very real here. If you can help that many people, gain their health back or share this news with people and see if it's a good fit for them, you can benefit that much every month. And I know for some people that's, a grocery bill, that's that could be a mortgage payment. It's quite significant. And then it doesn't cap out. So if you did, 10,000 in personal sales, right? It would be, don't make me do the math this late. Let's say 8,000.
You don't know. It's okay.
You're
I
like, we
can't do it
wouldn't.
either. Can't do it either.
I feel like, can we check out at a certain time?
Yeah, I checked out for math about 10 years ago, so it's okay.
I know, and we still have to somehow homeschool.
Yeah.
And so then this is the team building side. And I love doing this. I know not everyone's in the situation I was in, but I will tell you that I am a crunchy mom like you ladies. And if you are working with a single income family and you're trying to do everything crunchy, it becomes very, very, very difficult. So I'm the kind that, and this is just me, I don't go to the doctor for anything. I don't trust the doctors unless it's emergency care. Unless I broke a bone, that's when I'm going in. But that's where I'm coming from. And so I would go to a holistic dentist. I would go to a chiropractor for the kids. We had home birth, so paying out of pocket for a midwife, right? All of those things add up. Raw milk is twice as expensive as regular milk. And so when you're living this crunchy lifestyle, you either have to really, really budget down or you have to increase your wealth. You have to increase your income. And that's what I love about this business opportunity because it allows us to, instead of saying, I can't afford that, we say, how can I afford that? Oh, I have to help people. Let me go help people. Right. And so this is the team building side. So when you help your team grow and you grow together as a team, and you start to work your way through these ranks over here. And so senior consultant one is a rank, managing consultant one is a rank, executive consultant one is a rank. And the highlighted yellow side over here, that's the average monthly income that our consultants are making at that rank. And These numbers are really real. I know that it's sometimes it's funny to see these numbers and go that can't be real, but I know people making income at every single one of these and even beyond this. And that's because this is creating leveraged income where you're not just getting paid for your efforts, but you're getting paid on the efforts of your team. And that's where you create, honestly, that's where you create freedom. That's where you create something that's bigger than you, that takes a life on of itself, right? You're not getting paid, you're getting paid little bits. Who was it? I think someone said, I forget which millionaire said it, billionaire, but he was like, I would rather get paid 1% off of 100 people's efforts than 100% off of my own. And so most of us are, trading time for money. If we don't show up, we don't get paid. When you create a team and a system, it could be that you're out for 2 months for whatever reason. You had a baby, your husband hurt his leg, right? Or whatever it is, you can take that time off and the money will still come in because of what you've created, the system and the team that you've built. And that's what I call freedom income. That is, you know, that's the security there if, God forbid anything bad happens, that you have that security coming in month after month. And so our family, we hit that executive consultant rank after 6 years in the business. And this is with no experience. And it's what it is it's just showing up and serving and being coachable and helping people around you, having a servant heart and trusting the process. Because I really believe that being an entrepreneur is a faith journey. You don't see how it's going to end or how it's going to all work out, but it does. And we just trusted the process. So it took 6 years to get to that rank. But it was amazing, you guys, because it at this rank, and we're still working our way, we're growing this business and continuing to grow and help people. But when we got to that income, it was incredible to be able to pay all our bills and then to have money to put aside to grow wealth or to save or to invest or to do other things with or to help people with where we had never ever experienced that before. And what's interesting is like when you're making these income and it grows, you're not working very much more at this level than you are at this level. You're just helping a different group of people and continuing to grow your organization. And so these are just some fun things. I thought I'd throw these in here because I like to show the whole picture. But our company does throw out incentive trips. If that excites you, I know it excites me because um, I'm sure I shouldn't assume, but I always assume that most people don't go on exotic vacations, especially if you have a big family. Maybe Sarah does. She just has one baby now. Maybe she still does really cool vacations, but for our family, we'd just get like Airbnb a few blocks away from the beach, which we was great. We loved it. But when we go on an incentive trip with LifeVantage, they spoil us. I mean, we get a chance to earn these maybe once a year, maybe every 18 months. Actually, they're every couple of times a year right now, just what we call these mini trips. But I'm telling you, they spoil you. It's like going with your parents, like your very wealthy parents on vacation where mom and dad are paying for everything. That's what it feels like. And we just get spoiled. And so actually my husband and I last year we got to go to South Africa on a safari when we hit those executive ranks. And that was the most magical, beautiful, amazing experience ever. And then we got to go on a cruise later that year with I think four of our team members. And then later that year we got to go to Mexico with 8 of our team members. So that was really, really incredible. All the things that they give us. And then we also have these events to build our belief. So I don't know if you guys, if the wheels are spinning in your head and you're thinking like, oh, this may be something I may want to look at. We have an event coming up in Las Vegas, which isn't too far from you girls. So if that's something you're interested in, we can get you tickets. We have a couple extra, so we can like give those to you for free and figure out a way to get you there. But those events are really amazing because that's where you see the vision of what this could be, and you get around the culture of the people, and it's just very, very, very good people. Knowing that we live in a hijacked world and knowing that so many people are hurting and they're solution oriented, right? We're going to find a way to create more income, create more health, create more abundance for everyone. And so if that sounds something like that's exciting to you, usually how we get started is we have enrollment packs. Um, And they start out like really tiny ones like this one. I actually just bought this for my son. He just turned 18, so I made him a consultant. I do this business with my husband, but we made our son a consultant and he got this pack. And then they have bigger packs like this. And I like this one. This is the one we came in on because you get to try most of the products and you get a really great discount, but it also comes with two free tickets to the next company event, and that saves you a lot of money as well. So that's a really great one. When you get started, you have coupons, to help people get started. And basically, you just start working with Emily, with Katherine, with your team, with myself, with Danny. And we all work together, just sharing this news with as many people that will hear it. And we're not forcing the process on anyone. It's just, we're just sharing the information and people get to decide where they fit in, whether they're like, I don't need it now, no thank you, or oh my gosh, I've been praying for this, or I'm praying for the product, not interested in the opportunity, or they're like, oh my gosh, I've been praying for both, right? Whatever it is, we just kind of share the information and let people decide where they want to let it fit in their life. So just maybe ask yourself tonight where you see yourself, if you see yourself starting as a customer or you see yourself starting as a consultant. Either way is incredible. Something we always like to share, and this is from Danny. Danny is the one who brought Katherine on. She reminds us that God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. So if you feel like maybe inadequate or I don't know how I'm going to do this, that is all of us when we start. And I think that is the brave and beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is it really is this leap of faith. It's a step out in faith to what your life can be and what God has in store for you. So I don't know if we have anyone there, but we can open to questions.
It's just Emily and I now. Sarah had to leave, and the other girls were heading upstairs.
Uh,
They're young teenagers.
should I
So,
stop recording it and then we can
yeah, you probably could
start?
because then we can send it to all the others who could make
All right. Let us know if you guys have questions on the replay.
it.